Uniform, school bag, textbooks. Have you purchased them yet? Where are you on your checklist? If you still have some items left to be bought, you have a few more days to wrap it all up. Welcome to this Tuesday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in the package, how safe are our schools? The Ministry of Education has put a number of measures in place to ensure that our students are secure. And parents, as you do your last-minute textbook shopping, we remind you of the new textbook policy and guidelines to adhere to. Stick around. All this and more is in store right after the news.
I'm Mario Mackenzie, Robin, captain of the Calabar High Track team. And me have a message for anybody who are planning to take the tablet them, or the government give the school as for use in class. You never hear so them break the tablet them. That mean anywhere the tablets there, the government can shut them down. Plus GPS tracker installing of them. And even if you find a way, and you go around all of that, the minute you go up on the internet, them are going to know. So here what you do. Just leave the youth them with the tablet. Give them a chance to further them education. Makes sense, done.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your GIS news for Tuesday, August 26. The Jamaican economy expanded in the range of 1 to 2% in the April to June 2014 quarter. Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter made that pronouncement Monday at the BOJ's quarterly press briefing on the economy.
The recovery is projected to continue over the next 4 quarters, despite some slowing in the September quarter due to the impact of the drought on agricultural production. The outlook for growth in the full fiscal year 2014-15 remains within the original projections of 1 to 2%.
He said government had to maintain fiscal discipline and continue to pursue the program of economic transformation.
The preservation of economic stability, together with the maintenance of recent gains in external price competitiveness, will allow the productive sector to grow faster, led by exports and competitive import substitution.
Meanwhile, the BOJ governor says the Jamaican economy is better able to withstand inflationary shocks as a result of the economic reform program that's now underway. He says that although there was a 25% increase in bus fares last year and the Jamaican dollar depreciated, government's fiscal policy helped to curtail inflation.
Historically, such a combination of shocks would have been enough to send inflation spiraling into double-digit territory. But that did not happen this time. Instead, the environment for inflation has demonstrated what I would like to characterize as an unprecedented resilience.
Headline inflation at the end of June 2014 stood at 8%, down from 8.8% in June last year. And while the current drought resulted in a 1.4% increase in prices for the month of July, the BOJ maintains that inflation for the September 2013 to 2014 period will be in the targeted range of 7 to 9%. Jamaica has been assured of international assistance to meet its remaining goals under the World Health Organization WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control (FCTC). The assurance comes from the WHO FCTC Secretariat, which recently had a team in the island concluding its assessment of Jamaica's needs and progress towards satisfying the objectives of the convention. The team gave Jamaica commendations for its efforts, especially in the areas related to protection from exposure to tobacco smoke and tobacco packaging and labeling, which are included in the 2013 Public Health Tobacco Control Regulations. Among other things, Jamaica is still working to adopt comprehensive tobacco control legislation and to create a national coordinating mechanism. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson says he remains committed to doing what is required for Jamaicans to be protected against the dangers of tobacco exposure. The WHO FCTC Secretariat team's final report will give an overview of the status of Jamaica's implementation of the FCTC and put forward recommendations on the way forward. This is expected to be integrated into the country's action plan for tobacco control. State Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Sharon Folks Abrahams, says there must be a stronger effort to foster a culture of entrepreneurship among the youth, with particular emphasis on information communications technology, ICT.
This ministry wholeheartedly supports the engagement of young persons in activities that direct their creation towards an entrepreneurial culture that will not only harness their enthusiasm and innovative ideas, but also increase their personal development, social stability, and eventually their economic growth.
Mrs. Folks Abrahams was speaking on Friday at the Jamaican Girls Coding Summer Camp 2014 graduation ceremony. The 4-week program was organized by the Department for International Development and the Caribbean Development Bank in association with the Jamaica Coalition of Service Industries. It was facilitated by JAMPRO and exposed 20 girls ages 12 to 14 from various high schools in the corporate area to the technique of coding. The girls were presented with certificates and tablets at the graduation ceremony. State Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, Julian Robinson, said the vision was to build girls who code clubs in several high schools, starting with the participant schools and those institutions that are part of the Tablets in Schools project. And finally, the Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ is assuring that entrepreneurs can expect strict confidentiality if they participate in its financial information and real-time matchmaking Firm Expo. The event, being held for the first time, will give entrepreneurs an opportunity to pitch their business plans to potential investors. Executive Director of the Growth Secretariat at the PIOJ, Joseph Cox, says the panel of financiers hearing the pitches from entrepreneurs will be asked to sign confidentiality or non-disclosure forms.
The pitching scenarios will obtain in a closed setting, where the only people in that room will be the panel of financiers and the person pitching. We are ensuring that this thing caters to the market that is intended to, and it's not an avenue to be abused by anyone.
The Firm Expo is a collaborative initiative between the public and the private sector and will be held at Jamaica College on Old Hope Road October 4. Other sessions will follow over the next 12 to 15 months across the island. Registration can be done via the Firm Expo's website at firmexpoja.com or by visiting the offices of the PIOJ or Development Bank of Jamaica. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Me a 15, me nah run down no baby daddy, me a stay in a school, be married, get my education, so young girls, if you no mess up, get up, brush off, and remember, nourish.
Leaving your children at school as you head out for work can be a daunting task for many parents, especially if it's your child's first time at school. But no need to worry. The government is ensuring that all our schools are safe and secure.
Criminals are not born, they are formed. Often by neglect, often because of poor socialization, and the major positive environments in the formative process of our family, sometimes church, and certainly the school.
And it's because of this reality why the government of Jamaica is tightening its reins on the level of security and safety within the nation's schools. In fact, it's a strategic priority.
The Safe School program dates back to 2004. It was revised in 2008 and continues to be reviewed even in 2014.
Under this program, safety and security policy guidelines have been implemented in 164 high schools, 111 all-age, and 86 junior high schools. Further expansion will take place in 595 primary schools starting September this year.
This all in an effort to highlight appropriate values and attitudes expected of students, as well as to sharpen their understanding of the dead-end nature of gang involvement, as well as to reinforce positive and law-abiding behavior patterns.
The work is driven by trained police personnel called school resource officers, who are strategically placed in learning institutions to maintain law and order. They are supported by deans of discipline, of which there are currently 110, with plans for more to be appointed. The Education Ministry is also working with schools to ensure all of them have a functional security and safety committee. The committees are driven by in-house and outside stakeholders, from teachers, guidance counselors, and chairmen of school boards, to officials from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
That group would assist the school to take care of many of the challenges that do occur. The manual guides the principal of how to proceed with a lot of issues. For instance, the principal has to ensure that the school campus or the school premises is safe, and they are mandated by the policy to effect searches in the schools to search for weapons, contraband.
It is the right of any school official to appropriately search a student in order that we can forestall once and for all the carriage of dangerous weapons or any other kind of contraband in the school. School is no place for ganja, for tobacco, for liquor, for knife, let alone for gun.
In terms of the number of fights, the number of weapons being found in the schools, they're on the decline. And this is as a result of the strategies that have been employed by the Ministry of Education through the Deans of Discipline, along with the other stakeholders who work in the school environment.
Checks and balances are carried out by security and safety in school officers who visit schools regularly to ensure the appropriate measures are being carried out. In January 2014, Minister Ronald Thwaites tabled a paper in Parliament on a preventative initiative in schools to ameliorate Jamaica's crime problem. This resulted from an education and crime study done by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which showed the links between the negative behavior patterns of children and their latter antisocial conduct. Some schools were identified as needing the most help under the school-wide positive behavior intervention and support program.
This is not to place scores of blame on anyone. It is simply to indicate those where the greatest help is necessary.
A behavior management committee was created to spearhead a range of efforts in the most affected schools. This started in February.
The students who principals find are difficult to maintain in class are now being subject, or will now be subject to intense counseling, to intense intermediation by professionals in order that their behavior may be properly analyzed and corrected where possible.
The Education Ministry is also leading the charge to expand and revamp uniformed groups in schools right across the island to help reduce the level of violence among students and build morale.
It helps, the drill, the displays, the training helps in discipline, and we feel that that will help not just giving the youngster for school, but a lifelong disciplinary young man that is going out into society.
Through the National Parenting and Support Commission, parents and community members are also being targeted to assist in ensuring safety within and around the nation's schools. Meanwhile, the physical infrastructure at schools is being shored up. Through targeted policies and practical applications, the Education Ministry and its many partners is on a mission to improve security and safety within the nation's schools, providing students with the right environment to work hard and excel.
Everyone connected with the school experience must be held accountable. No one could ever state that it is the purview of teachers alone. It is not, or of principals. It involves a combination of home, community, and school. But the school is the locus. It is the place where the greatest degree of attention, presence, resources, including that where necessary and appropriate of the security forces, can coalesce.
Householders, business people, school administrators, Protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
How many times have you seen a little boy or girl heading to school with a big bag of books on their backs weighing them down? And you shake your head and ask, why do they need so much books? Well, they don't. The Ministry of Education has put in place a new policy and textbooks that your school should follow. Here are the details right now.
It's that time of year again when parents are busy shopping for back-to-school items. And topping the lists each year are the well-needed textbooks, which can get quite pricey. Well, the Ministry of Education has put in place a new textbook policy, along with some guidelines to help you cut the costs.
For the first time, the Ministry of Education has reviewed all book lists from the school and will be approving the list of books for schools to give parents to purchase at different grades. No book lists are to be issued by schools unless approved by the Ministry of Education.
That policy has set the stage for schools and parents to clamp down on the exorbitant cost of many of the books assigned to students each year.
We want to give our parents a fair opportunity to spend on what is necessary for their children's education.
This is bolstered by the fact that the ministry already provides the core books needed for schools at both the primary and secondary level. In fact, $900 million was awarded to the textbook program this year to replace lost or destroyed books within the school system. But for those parents that still need to buy,
we're giving some guidelines. Parents should not be spending more than an average of $5,000 on supplementary texts at the primary level and about $12,000 at the grades 7 to 9 levels at the secondary schools.
Yes, we did a survey in May of this year, and we came up with those ceiling of 5,000 and 12,000. And we are seeing a few, perhaps plus or minus 5 to 10%, but it is not significant. What we do not want is to see a 50% or 100% over the guidelines.
For now, there are no restrictions at grades 10 and 11. As part of the new textbook policy, the Education Ministry has developed a master list of supplementary textbooks and has sent that to schools for them to issue to parents.
We have collected the textbook lists from all the institutions across Jamaica from grades 1 to 6 and grades 7 to 9. We did a comprehensive review of these lists and we developed a popular list. Once these books are reviewed, they are placed on a supplementary list for the primary level as well as a supplementary list for the secondary level.
And that's the list parents should be given. To get the list, simply go online, click on the Ministry of Education's website, then click on Approved Textbooks and scroll down for all the information. It is from that supplementary book list that you can then compare your book list in order to find out if what your child's school has given you is in line with the ministry's regulations. This is the first year of its rollout, and already the ministry-approved supplementary book list has led to a reduction in the number of textbooks needed at each level. School officials and parents are attesting to the benefits of the new policy, like Hortense Dolphy, whose child is about to start grade 4. Her daughter received a book scholarship from Almond Town Primary, and school officials are declaring that they were able to get all the necessary books from the ministry's supplementary list within range of what the ministry stipulated.
These books, the value about $6,000, which is really in range with what the minister is saying, and we'll work with it. We appreciate it. Thank you.
As you conduct your textbook shopping, check out the annual school textbook survey on the Consumer Affairs Commission website.
When parents are about to go shopping, they can stay at home, contact us. Either they go on our website or call us if they want to do a comparison of prices within their parish, within the city, like for instance Kingston. We can do that kind of comparison based on textbook titles and publishers and so on. So we would ask consumers, if they so choose, that they can call us before they go shopping to find out exactly what are the best prices on particular textbooks, and we will help them with that.
So you see, the government is making it much easier and affordable for you to meet your textbook shopping needs. And if you think your book list is still too long, then heed the advice.
Take the book list to our regional offices or our central offices. Let us look at those book lists and let us see if they meet the guidelines.
By now, you must have heard about the chikungunya virus on the island. Perhaps you're also concerned that your child may be affected while at school. Well, representatives of the Education and Health Ministries met recently to put systems in place to ensure that your fears can be laid to rest. But remember, you too must play your part. So in today's HealthWise, we learn all about chikungunya.
According to the World Health Organization, chikungunya is a viral disease which is transmitted to humans by infected Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. After being bitten, it takes between 4 to 7 days for symptoms to appear. The main ones include high fever and severe joint pain, usually in the lower back, ankles, knees, or wrists. Infected persons may also experience joint swelling, rash, headache, muscle pain, nausea, and fatigue. Although chikungunya does not often result in death, joint pains and stiffness can last for months and even years. It may become a source of chronic pain and disability, resulting in the individual being unable to attend school or work. It is advised that anyone experiencing symptoms of chikungunya should visit their doctor or the nearest health center immediately. The first outbreak of chikungunya was in southern Tanzania in 1952. Then, in 2013, the French part of St. Martin reported the first confirmed case in the Caribbean and Latin American region. Since then, it has spread to approximately 28 countries and territories in the region, with more than 5,000 cases confirmed by mid-July 2014. Chikungunya has also been identified in nearly 40 countries in Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. There is no specific treatment for the chikungunya virus, nor is there a vaccine, so treatment is directed primarily at relieving the symptoms. During this period, infected persons should ensure that they get plenty of rest, drink enough fluid to prevent dehydration, and take the medication prescribed by their doctors. Mosquitoes that bite infected persons will become infected and are likely to spread the virus when they bite other persons. So it's important that we take measures to protect ourselves from being bitten. We can start by identifying and reducing possible mosquito breeding sites.
Ensure that once a week we inspect our homes, schools, business places, churches. This mosquito is a day-biting mosquito, and it lives in and around where people live and congregate. Therefore, we want to ensure that the water that is settling is removed. The message of scrubbing the flower vases carefully, the PET containers with water, ensuring that all tiles are emptied, tins are punched with holes before they are discarded, are still applicable for control of the chikungunya virus spread.
Other measures include covering the body as much as possible by wearing long-sleeved clothing and using insect repellent containing DEET. As for those traveling to countries with confirmed cases of chikungunya,
the main advice is to prevent mosquito bites. We also say look at how you are clothed. Try and protect your exposed skin. So it's the wearing of light-colored clothes, wearing long sleeves, pants if necessary, socks. Also, because the mosquito is still there, it is to ensure that persons should sleep under a mosquito net.
the Ministry of Health has been putting measures in place for more than 2 years in anticipation of the chikungunya virus reaching our shores. In fact, it was the ministry's heightened surveillance system that detected Jamaica's first imported confirmed case in mid-July.
It is something that is more favorable for any country when the first case that you recognize is imported, because then you can take the containment measures, meaning that you are ensuring that you limit their contact with any mosquitoes by caring for them under a net, limiting their movement and doing the vector control. We're also ensuring that at our points of entry, when visitors return to the island from any of the countries where transmission is occurring, that we alert them to the fact that if they display any signs and symptoms, they should check with their doctors or any of our health facilities.
The Education Ministry is ensuring that students are assessed as they enter grade 7 so teachers can meet their unique needs and challenges. And they have a wide array of other programs in place. But what about you? How can you help your child to learn in the next school year?
Work with that child to keep them away from the negative and put them in the positive. So therefore, at the end of the day, it'll be positive for both you and that child.
Teach them, help them with them reading book and their maths book, learn them to do a lot of things.
When we get the school book, we buy them the book list. We buy them early and encourage them to read through the books to make sure that when they go to school and teacher put the work on the board or ask them to do the work in the book, they already know the answers.
By assisting him with his textbooks, by learning toys and stuff like that.
Ensuring our children's safety, health and great performance at school is everyone's responsibility. As the government plays its part, you too must join in the process. Together, everyone achieves more. A team, that's what we are. Be sure to send your feedback on our programs by emailing us at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for all the information you need. If social media is your thing, then visit us on Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of the entire JIS production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, stay focused.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.